Hello viewers. India is at a unique juncture. We are where development and sustainability have to go hand in hand. Initiatives like Forests by Heartfulness blend spirituality with afforestation and climate action. The Heartfulness mission recently announced an ambitious plan to plant 30 million trees across the country by 2030. To understand more, we are joined by the spiritual guide of the Heartfulness movement, Kamlesh D. Patel, also known as Daaji by everyone, a Padma Bhushan awardee, a global ambassador for peace, and an advocate for faith-based climate action. Daaji, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
Getting into the heart of the matter. So recently, the Forest by Heartfulness mission was launched, with an idea to plant 30 million saplings across the country by 2030. So in the current scenario of growing urbanization and shrinking green spaces in the country, how achievable is this, and then what is the idea, what is the original idea behind it?
Well, earlier our goal was 1 million, just 1 million trees. We achieved it. Now what next? We were struggling because to plant so many trees, as you say, with growing urban cities, where would you find the land? Fortunately, Government of India as well as various state governments are coming forward knowing Forests by Heartfulness, their success. So we are now planting trees largely in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, some in Telangana, and hopefully we will launch this program also in Andhra. But by and large, these are the states where we are actively involved. It really, on a big scale, it started in Madhya Pradesh, on a very large scale, because of the large numbers of the, what we call, the eroded forests they have. Moreover, they have lots of mines, so we are trying to rejuvenate mines also, and because miners, especially when they take away what they need, unfortunately they forget that they have damaged Mother Earth and they need to repair. To me, forests are like jewels given to Mother Earth, and that is our duty.
Okay. Talking about the duty to plant trees and all, how is Forest by Heartfulness different from other conventional plantation drives? As in, what is the method or what is the philosophy that sets this apart?
Well, what I have seen generally, people, they just, if they want to plant something, they take a plant, they dig a little bit, not even 1 foot, put it there, stuff it up with the mitti, and they forget to nurture with water and nutrients. We have a different approach. We see the sun movement, the wind directions. So we arrange bigger trees on the northern side of the smaller trees. This is one fundamental thing. Second thing is the wind direction and water placement. Third most important thing is to utilize certain new methods. For example, we dig 3 to 4 feet. We go below 3 to 4 feet and we make a big khadda, big pit of 3 to 4 feet, and fill it up with biocharcoal. Biocharcoal has a nice property of retaining nutrients for thousands of years. So when you have charcoal, we burn wood, right? And then we impregnate it, soak it with the cow dung, cow urine, any bio waste. Okay? It absorbs it, and we throw almost 10% of that when it is, let us see, 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet. So 10% will be occupied at least by this charcoal. So the roots will be able to absorb all that. It also maintains and keeps the moisture within the soil. Then of course vermicompost and other modern nutrients are also given. First also we study what the soil has and what it does not have. So we supplement all those things. So that's the first fundamental thing. See, we have been able to create forest by Heartfulness, and especially rain forests in Telangana. It is unthinkable. So we have created rainforests also. What is rainforest? Rainforest means you require rain, and forest is created. Now we don't have 12 months rain in Telangana. We don't even have regular 4 months rain in Telangana. So we artificially create by placing rain guns in strategic locations everywhere. We have been very successful in Taranga Hills, Jain Tirthadham, where the topography doesn't allow and there is hardly any rain, no more than 300, 400 mm. But we have installed more than 700 rain guns there that easily can cover 700 acres. So you have now largest rain gun fed forest in Taranga Hills in the world, all artificially created, not nothing by nature. Whatever nature had, it plays its part because the nature there is so harsh, very stony soil and hardly any rain. So first thing we created was the water bodies. Whatever rain is there, we created water bodies, and then we pumped this stored water via these rain guns. Just 5 minutes a day of rain is enough.
On the practical side of the things, as we've been talking about methodologies and all, getting into the more practical aspects of it. So, can you tell us anything about the stakeholders involved and what kind of support ecosystem that is needed or that has been mobilized for a large activity like this?
Well, what we need is the support or the blessings of the government. You see, without government's, I would say, cooperation, this is not achievable. As we see, government has somehow failed across the nation. It's not one particular state. Because the forest department, there are pockets which are so well maintained, but there are pockets I don't see that they are well maintained. Whatever vegetations we read in the books, you go to any state and see if those trees are widely available in those forests. You will be shocked to see that those are disappearing. And what is growing largely? Eucalyptus, neem, something that people don't like to even utilize. And neem, eucalyptus, they're easily, I think, they chop it off also and sell it in the market. It's a big racket as well. I don't see all forest officers, but I'm pretty sure that there are forests that we can maintain a lot better, administer them very nicely. The policy itself is failing from the government side how to maintain these forests. Some policy decisions have to be made, and said states can't do much because it's central government's policy. So it's a problem. Centers should take some solid actions so that our forests can thrive. We don't have forests. We have just empty spaces with some trees like eucalyptus, imported trees, and now and then here with God's blessing some neem trees or some babul that nobody wants.
So, when you say there are policy level things that have to be done, can you give any example?
Well, one thing, once I was discussing this matter with our Honorable President, that how tribals, people who live around the forests, are chopping the woods for cooking, etc. What if we give them free gas? We can grow Napier grass in the forest, and through this Napier grass we can produce so much of gas you cannot imagine, and it can help the tribal people. So she was very much upset in the sense, she says, Daaji, you have some misunderstanding about tribal people. They are not new to our country. They have been there. If they were destroying the forest, they would have destroyed it long time back. But now forests are being destroyed by the forest caretakers themselves, also by industrialists who are careless about it. People should also understand why use wood where you can use some other alternatives. So she was giving various examples. You see. From my personal side, I would say that we should plant on a large scale. Suppose a private entity, corporate entity, or NGOs, they would like to adopt a forest. There is no way you can adopt. Even though you want to do a good work, even though you want to make a difference in the society today by planting, they will not allow you to enter, they will not allow you to do even plantation there. So this is a taboo, and this is where we have to make a difference. They don't do, they will not allow others to do good things also. This is the main thing. See.
But then you were mentioning earlier about getting involved with closed mines.
Those are revenue lands.
And we also saw MOU signed with Coal India.
Yes.
About regarding the Singareni collieries. So how do you envision this transformation of closed mine sites?
See, mines have big holes. They have dug already. We allow the water to percolate there, and they become the storage places. They can store large quantity of water. And surrounding it, we can have forest based on what that soil contains. We have to study. And we have so many varieties of trees that can thrive under various conditions. So we have to match both. It's very easy. I give you one example that in Tirupati Hills, Tirumala Hills, the best red sanders that is available is from Tirumala Hills. We can grow same red sander anywhere also in Telangana or Andhra or Karnataka or Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. But the same quality will not come. But I have found out through soil analysis what that soil in Tirumala Hill contains. It is largely containing uranium byproduct or the deterioration or degradation product called strontium chloride. So if we use that strontium, you can make 1 or 2% strontium chloride solution and put it in the soil, put it there. It will thrive as well. In fact, it will do better than Tirumala. We have done that in Kana Santivanam. And within 6 months, you will see even the branches, if you chop it a little bit, small branches, it will ooze red liquid. So it's such a beautiful thing. We have to know what to do, when to do.
On knowing when to do and what to do you think youth knows what to do, and then what role do you see the youth playing in terms of afforestation and the broader environmental action?
Youth today is full of energy, enthusiasm, the passion, they have passion. We need to give them directions. When parents themselves are clueless, when their lifestyle is not ideal, how are they going to become example to their energetic, passionate youth? When that right direction is absent, they remain confused. I don't say they do wrong things, they remain confused. They don't know what to do. So I would say adults have the responsibility of leading a rightful, ideal life and being the example to their own children. See, you can't use the phone before going to sleep and keep it under your pillow and tell your child not to use the phone. It's not going to work. You don't expect your child to meditate when you yourself are not even able to sit for 5 minutes and pray. You don't even take food together with your own spouse or your family or your mother. You don't seem to massage her feet or, comfort your mother or grandmother. How are children going to learn from you? So adults have to set an example first before they can say you do this or you don't do this.
And in this context, the context of afforestation and environmental action?
Well, when we were talking of government policies, you can encourage them indirectly. For example, school children, we can have programs for them the way Delhi government school applied. Through Heartfulness, we taught them how to grow microgreens in a small container. It serves as a salad, very healthy food. Children in 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade, if they are able to grow microgreens, why not teenagers, 13 years, 14 years? And college going students, we can expect little more. Make it mandatory for them to get a degree only if they grow 5 trees during the college time. You should get an admission once you show the photograph of your tree, that I have planted this tree in such and such a place, which can be tracked through global positioning system, GPS. Nowadays, everything is possible. You can even monitor the growth of the tree and say once you certify after your graduation is over that you have really planted those 5 trees and they are surviving, you get the degree. And once they see, oh, this is like, I did this, they'll feel so happy about it.
So it can be made a part of the education process. When you make something like this a part of the process, it gets more of a deeper core aspect to it. It stops being just I'm going and doing it for the sake of doing it. Rather, it becomes a deeper aspect. So, along these lines, how do you see spirituality connect with ecological restoration? Do you see a role of spirituality in it? Or are these two?
These are inseparable things. A spiritual person, his life rotates around everything. You cannot escape from anything. People say in order to become spiritual, one requirement earlier was, you should become sannyasi if you really want to become spiritual. But that is not true. A spiritual person should be strongly integrated into everything that is in the society, from education to ecology to environment. Everything. I cannot say I'll take a vacation from this or from that and I will not do this and I will not do that. There has to be some level of integration. Trees and human beings, we have a very close, very intimate relationship. See, there are a few examples I like to cite with you. We take oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. Plants and trees, it's a reverse. We have a complementary relationship. Likewise, the good qualities that, let us see if I am sick, and viewers who are watching this can also see that if you, let's say you have a headache or your health is not so good or you have a fever, you sit by the tree. Let your back be supported by the tree trunk. Prayerfully sit and pray to that tree that let us exchange our energies. What I need, you please give me your strength, and what you need, take it away from me. And when this exchange happens, within 5 minutes you will see the difference in your health. Right. I am requesting our viewers also to try it. Even simple things like when you have a headache, sit by the tree with this prayerful heart and see what happens to your headache. So we have a very intimate relationship. Also, when you transmit spiritual energy to a tree, it holds it for thousands of years. As long as it thrives, as long as it lives, it holds that spiritual charge. Unlike human beings, suppose if I transmit that divine charge to a person, he may not be also even be able to absorb it, let alone holding it for a long time. Abhidiya, abhigaya, like that. But trees, they hold it. So I think that's why our rishis used to worship the trees. Because somebody had planted divine charge and they were able to recognize, so automatically your head bows down to that charge, not the tree.
Now you were talking about somebody planting the tree at one point and then, people feeling it later at later points. But then over the last, say, 150, 200 years, globally, the opposite has been happening. We've industrialized ourselves and then we're going ahead rapidly and cities are growing, green areas are shrinking. This is a global phenomenon. So, considering the quantum of damage that we've caused so far, the rapid damage that too, do you think we can heal it fully? And if we can, is it a one generational task or what is it like? What does it look like for you?
For me, it's difficult to predict. But I have the freedom. Let me do what I can do during my lifetime. What you can do, it is your responsibility. Same thing with yours. It's up to you. And we don't know whether it will happen in this generation or another 10 generations. But if you wait for 10 generations, I don't think you'll surpass even 4th generation. Because the way this climate is changing. Do you know, in 1948, my Guruji predicted that the Gulf Stream will change its course. It used to go from the northwest part of the African continent. It used to go up to North America, northeast of America, go up and come down via Britain. And that kept the temperature slightly what it has been so far. He predicted in 1948 that this Gulf Stream will change its course and it will not go upward, it will go downward towards the equator. What that means? Means the temperature will fall by minus 20 to minus 30 degrees to already existing lower temperature. That means it will not remain habitable. In last week newspaper, digital news, I read that Gulf Stream had slowed down 10 years back. And for the first time, it is now receding. It's not moving further. So in few years, you will see the impact. So we are changing the climate at a very, if you extrapolate this, within few decades, I think northern Europe will be inhabitable.
Too cold or too hot?
Too cold.
Because globally the temperatures are rising, right?
That is different. There will be pockets of geographical locations where it will be so cold you just cannot survive there. And there will be places it will be so hot. And when you talk of this climate change hot, there are bubbles created in the stratosphere, because of that ozone depletion. It becomes open and it continues. It has a what we call chain reaction. So what else do you have?
Now I've been seeing that your latest book, Holy Tirthaka, is put there, and I'm curious about the book. So, what inspired it, and what do you see are the main?
Well, we were discussing about forests with the Prime Minister Modi ji, and when we were talking of plants and trees, he suddenly said, Kamlesh bhai, I know only 16 trees which are associated with Tirthankar. Then he started talking of Tirthankars. He said, Every Tirthankar had their own favorite tree under which they meditated. And he was, out of 24 Tirthankars, he was able to collect only 16 of them or so. Why don't you find out the other ones, since you are so much interested in all this, and write a book on it? So we did a thorough research on all this, finding out which Tirthankar, in which era, meditated under which tree. And then later on I found that they were also associated with a particular animal. Like the first Tirthankar associated with the bull, the second with an elephant, third with a horse. So they are, they are integrally connected with everything that was in the nature. Also with the birds. So each one had a particular bird, which is fascinating. It's not that I was inspired, but I had fascination for Jainism from beginning, because what we practice in Heartfulness and what Tirthankars also advocate, they resonate so well. They're almost like parallel system, which can be easily practiced through Heartfulness. Jainism as such, if you practice, if you want to practice, even if you want to practice, it's so difficult. For example, you cannot eat after sun. It was designed earlier because those days we didn't have electricity. Right? So in order not to eat those insects that might have fallen in your food, they designed such a system. But now we have electricity, but still to pursue that and tell people that I cannot eat after sunset, it is not practical in modern era. I think it will be asking for too much.
So for the modern era, especially the younger audiences, if I were to ask you for one simple mantra or one simple technique that they can follow to enhance their daily experiences, what would you suggest? And this is something that we can close on.
Well, it's not me saying it. It's Lord Krishna himself says it. Lord Shiva indirectly saying that you should meditate. Lord Rama and Hanuman, they also indirectly tells you how to meditate. You know why I say indirectly? Because if you see their photographs, what comes to your mind first when Hanumanji or Lord Rama in the forest, they're meditating with their closed eyes? Hanumanji opening his chest and showing that Lord Rama is in my heart. Do you think it's easy to open the chest and close it? It's a visual graphic. It's an indirect example of telling you that the Lord resides in your heart. Shiva, for example. When you imagine Lord Shiva, what do you think? We imagine that he is in Kailash on a mountain, he is in tapas, he is in meditation, right? The snake around Nagaraja, around his neck, the moon. These are all symbols. Moon around Naga. It is only showing that he had a complete control over his senses. No fear. And yet peaceful in dhyana. These are all depictions, visual graphics telling us that you should be so peaceful inside, at the same time fearless about the world, including things like nagas. So if you can create that fearlessness, at the same time you remain peaceful through meditation. And Lord Krishna also says, when Arjuna asks, how do one perceive you? Lord Krishna says, Hridayame pashyasi, meaning, look myself in your heart. He also says on many slokas, at least 5 slokas, that I dwell in heart of every living being. So He's already given you the address. I dwell there as Antaryamin. So this is a signal. When youth today sees that you are not looking inside, you are going outside. And though they see their parents doing all these rituals, morning, evening, or so many times, if not daily, at least occasionally, and yet there is no change in them. They believe in God, but transformation is lacking. So this faith is lost in the youth. They like to believe, but their foundation is very weak. Even adults who believe in God, their foundation is terribly weak, because if something goes wrong, they say, where is God? Kahan gaya? Why am I suffering even though I pray every day? So youth should be able to experience the presence of what they believe in. They don't believe because they don't experience anything. But if they find a capable person who can show them this is how you can experience, then they have no questions to ask. They will have belief, shraddha, and that will take them further. So I like to say, you guys, youngsters, are very honest. You don't believe? It's fine, because you have not experienced. It is like currency without any backing. Once the backing of experience is there, you will believe it. So, experience. And how are you going to experience? Only through meditation. Go inward. Find a right guru who can take you further. And if you cannot find, at least experiment out various meditation systems and come to your own conclusion. Start experimenting and don't go with shraddha just like that. Conclude with shraddha after you experienced. Trust your heart. That's all.
Thank you, Daaji, for your time and your thoughtful answers. So your message as of now is clear. It's that there's a collective action and collective reverence towards nature that's needed for us to, go ahead healing the nature.
One man cannot do it. There has to be collective action. You're right.
And we wish the best for Heartfulness in the Forest by Heartfulness initiative.
Thank you. Don't wish the best for Heartfulness and wish the best for the Mother Earth. We need many many hearts to join this family and look after the Mother Earth. Decorate it with a lot of jewels, the trees.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.